Campaign exists to counter misrepresentation in public affairs and the media. Since the events of the 7th of October 2023, one focus has been on the shocking bias seen in the mainstream media promoting the Israeli narrative and dehumanizing Palestinians. Gaza today has become the moral compass of the world, insisted the Reverend Dr. Montha Isaac in his 2023 Christmas sermon entitled Christ in the Rubble. We formed the Lambeth Witness Group, a subgroup within Campaign, to call time on the Church of England's 100-year silence about the ethnic cleansing of Palestine and British complicity. It's important to remember the conflict did not begin in October 2023. The Zionist agenda to colonize Palestine and displace its indigenous people began in the 19th century, backed by Britain's colonial ambitions in the Middle East, especially after the First World War. Consequently, the ethnic cleansing began in earnest in 1948 and accelerated after 1967. The Church of England has been present in Palestine since the 1840s and should be repudiating this legacy, not endorsing it. With 26 seats in the House of Lords, the Church of England enjoys a privileged position at the heart of the British state. It should therefore be holding the British government to account, but they won't. The former Conservative government gave the green light to Israel to carry out its genocidal attacks on Gaza, and the present Labour government has carried on this policy by exporting arms to Israel, by allowing Israeli arms company Elbit to manufacture its drones in the UK, and by allowing the use of our RAF base on Cyprus as a drop-off point for American arms to Israel. The Parliament of the Church of England, General Synod, has met 3 times since the atrocities began, but Gaza has yet to make it onto the Synod's agenda. And since October 2023, the Church of England's archbishops and bishops issued 5 statements on the genocide in Gaza, carefully avoiding using the term. The statements reveal a clear bias in favor of the Israeli narrative. And for over a year now, they have been completely silent, despite mounting and indisputable evidence of genocide and war crimes, reported by the United Nations to the International Criminal Court, the International Court of Justice, by human rights organizations such as Amnesty International, and indeed by Christian leaders in Palestine. It is not as if they do not know. For the first time in history, a genocide is being aired live from Gaza on social media by its very victims. Why won't our church leaders lead on this urgent existential threat to the indigenous people of Palestine? There's a simple explanation. The Lambeth Witness Group has been highly critical of what we perceive to be the complicity between the Church of England hierarchy and the Israel lobby. There is clearly an unhealthily close and long-standing relationship between the leaders of the Church of England and the Board of Deputies of British Jews, who describe themselves unapologetically as a pro-Israeli lobby. This is evidenced by the fact that the Campaign open letter about the failure to engage with the Palestinian Church did not lead to any dialogue with the Archbishop of Canterbury. And in a subsequent letter sent to 95 serving Anglican bishops, we asked a specific question on whether they recognized the existence of apartheid in Israel, but did not receive a single reply. This merely confirmed their unwillingness over many years to address this issue, as demonstrated by their refusal to engage with the indigenous Palestinian church leadership. The core problem is that the Church of England leadership is unwilling to advocate for Palestinian Christians or answer to citizens of the UK. The latter is totally out of place in a country like the UK, where the Church of England enjoys a privileged position at the heart of an elected democracy. One where the views of all citizens, be they Anglican or otherwise, are supposed to count. The least people have the right to expect is that the Church will enter into reasoned dialogue over points of contention. Despite Zionist and Israeli leaders' long-standing and well-documented aim of ethnically cleansing Palestine of native Palestinians, and the mounting evidence of apartheid, war crimes and genocide being committed by Israel in Gaza and the occupied territories, neither the archbishops nor the House of Bishops have been willing as yet to use these terms in their statements. Nor have they been willing to call for a permanent ceasefire, lobby the UK government to ban arms exports, or endorse the South African submission to the International Court of Justice investigating evidence of multiple Israeli war crimes. If Gaza is indeed the moral compass of the world, it is evident that the Church of England leadership are relying on a very different compass, one that steers them to prioritize their relationship with the Israeli lobby and the British government over genuine moral principles.